Unless you have been living under a rock, you know what the SCP Foundation is. I live under a rock and even I know what it is. But in case you don't, the SCP Foundation stands for Secure, Contain, Protect, and was started by someone on 4chan by the name Moto42. That's right, SCP started on 4chan in 2007. I will be using the fan Wikipedia and the SCP Explained channel for most of my research on this, so if I get something wrong, let me know in the comments. And if you want to fact check me, the links will be in the description. In today's video, we will be going over some of the more popular SCPs and how to survive them. Because apparently there are over 9,000 SCPs, and I'm not doing that. The SCPs we will be covering are 3008, the Infinite Ikea, 999, the Tickle Monster, 682, the Hard to Destroy Reptile, 173, the Sculpture, one of my personal favorites, 096, the Shy Guy. If you wanted to see other SCPs to be talked about and how to survive, then leave a comment and I might make another one. Before we get into this, let's talk about the why. Why am I making this video? In short, I like doing pointless research for hours on end for something. The long answer, though, is that the SCP Foundation is massive, and I think if I study it and use what made it so popular, I can do something similar and become just as big. You will learn more about this during the last 2 weeks of the month when I reveal my new book series. As Warren Buffett said, it's good to learn from your mistakes. It's better to learn from other people's mistakes. So I'm doing this to learn from what they did wrong and did right, and created one of the biggest monster fandoms out there, which actually includes the community. Let's start with SCP-3008, the Infinite Ikea. As it sounds, it is the standard IKEA store that goes on forever. At least, that's what it looks like on the surface. If you go in, it will look like a normal IKEA building, but inside are the inhabitants of SCP-3008-2. I know, very creative name. They are 7 feet tall, have no face, and their limbs are up to 6 feet long. The clothing it has on is actually its skin, and that's it. It's just a walking mound of skin. No internal brain, bones, organs, or anything. Just skin. After dark, these monsters, that are referred to as the staff among the people inside, go from not really caring about your presence to out to kill you. They will shout, "The store is now closed. Please exit the building." And if you think about fighting back, you can, but you have to get rid of the bodies before the next night, because they will get much angrier if they see them. The store itself is obviously bigger on the inside, but attempts to measure it have been extremely unreliable, so it theoretically could go on forever, but we don't actually know. We only know the first 10 kilometers, or roughly 6 miles for all my American watchers. The food inside it replenishes itself naturally, and the lights will turn on and off automatically, so you will know when there is danger. The building is supposedly interdimensional as well, meaning it can kidnap anyone from any universe where IKEA exists. You will never know if you got trapped in one, though, because it will look exactly like an IKEA. The inside of the place has actually built little civilizations as well. So, how do you survive? Despite there being 14 people who have escaped this place, there hasn't been any reliable way to escape, at least from what I could find. So the best thing you can do is to go into one of the towns and help them in whatever way you can. There is infinite food, so you should be fine. The hardest part of surviving in there would be the mental strain. You'll probably go insane before you die of old age. Next up, it's a ferocious, vicious, and horrifying SCP-999, the Tickle Monster. Don't let the name fool you. It can absorb its food through its skin like an amoeba. It can stretch itself so thin that it can be 2 centimeters thick, or a little over half an inch, but typically a dome at 1 meter tall and 2 meters wide, or 3 feet by 6 feet. With all this mass, it weighs in at 54 kilograms, or 120 pounds. This orange, hydrophobic slime ball has been known to lure you in with pleasant smells from sweets to bacon to even Play-Doh. This monster is completely harmless, actually. Yeah, I have lied about it being ferocious, vicious, and horrifying. This is actually a little ball of sunshine that has been reportedly able to help people with depression and PTSD see the world in a brighter light. Loves all animals, especially humans, and have been known to take a bullet for someone. It eats sweets with its favorite being M&Ms, so keep it away from me because these are mine and it can't have any. So the survival for this SCP is more so how well you can avoid its temptation. It has a love for people who are injured physically or emotionally. So if you suffer from depression, then you'll be its target. Honestly, don't avoid this one. There's a reason it roams the halls of the Foundation freely. It's called the Tickle Monster because it just touching it makes you laugh and joy. Okay, so I might have lied about SCP-999, but 682 is not. This is actually a vicious monster. There has been no proven way to kill this thing. The best we have gotten out of it is massive physical harm, getting up to 87% of its body. These weights no longer work because of its insane adaptability. Its speed, strength, and reflexes make this thing one of the scariest killers out there. It doesn't matter what it eats. It could be the most toxic water on the planet or a bunch of rocks. It seems to get rid of everything toxic in its meal, and whether it is organic or not, it will gain energy from it. It can talk to you, and even if you are super calm, it might go into an aggro and attacking state. This thing has been kept in hydrofluoric acid to prevent it from being at its full power. At full power, it can deflect, absorb, and completely ignore any and all attacks made to it. And sometimes it will even use those attacks in its already wide arsenal. So, how do you survive this thing? Simple answer, you don't. Other SCPs, such as 173 and 096, which I will be going over shortly, were put into a room with this creature, and none were successful. Lasers have been deflected off it, lack of oxygen makes it release an exploding gas, and even being cut into 12,000 pieces, it just reconstructs itself shortly after. So the best thing you can do is pick a god and pray, because there is no surviving this thing. Now it is time for one of my more favorite SCPs, 173, the Sculpture. A mass of concrete, rebar, and other materials for building is shaped into a 2 meter, 6.5 foot tall monster that resembles a statue. You can think of it a crying angel from Doctor Who. That means you have to constantly be staring at it. If you even decide to blink, you will die. So, how do you survive this one? You just simply don't be the one to start looking at it. If someone else is looking at it, then leave them to it and get as far away from there as possible. If you're stuck looking at it, don't stop. Your eyes might burn, but you can't look away. This might sound selfish, but try get someone else to look at it, and when they do, bolt. Now, my favorite SCP, 096, the Shy Guy. I pretty much don't have to do any research on this thing to tell you all you need to know, but I will anyway, so you can fact check me in the comments. I love this thing a lot, so I've done a lot of research for him already. Standing at a massive 2.38 meters, or 7'9", with 1.5 meters, almost 5 feet long arms, is a malnourished, humanoid looking figure ready to kill. It appears to be a normal human outside of the fact that it can open its jaw 4 times wider than anyone can, and its limbs are way out of proportion. Anyone who sees its face will get about a minute, or two at the most, before it begins charging at you as low as 35 kilometers per hour, or 22 miles per hour. Anyone who sees his face, whether it is just a tiny pixel of his face on a photo, or you staring him in the eyes, he will find you and he will kill you. Survival for this one is easier said than done. Just don't look at pictures anymore. Hell, if you want to go to the extreme, you can wear a blindfold all the time and just live like you're in Bird Box. If you see his face, you better spend the next few minutes of your life writing your will. So those are some of the SCP monsters. Most of the SCP monsters you won't be able to survive no matter what you do, and I think that's kind of boring. These monsters, at the end of the day, are people just saying nonsense and getting horrific results. While I love the SCP Foundation as much as the next guy, looking at it from a writer's perspective, it's rocky at best. All these monsters share the same capabilities and most of them want you dead, so after the second or third dozen, it kinda gets boring. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you ever encounter these freaks of nature, you now know how much longer you have left to live, with the exception of SCP-999. I mean, just look at it. Anyways, I'll see you all tomorrow when I talk about how to survive Terminator. Alright, that was a good video. Time to work on the next one.